How do you get that boat from this manufacturing plant in Kosovo with no water around us to Miami?
It looks difficult, but really it's not so.
Oh, it's easy.
Just pay. It just is expensive.
You just pay.
It's one of my dreams,
Yep.
as a child dream, to see my boat without paying someone to film it, but just passing through the inlet all-over of Miami,
Yep.
where all the super yacht and most famous brand pass there, and I will see a product made in Kosovo.
So are you gonna go to Miami when this arrives and go?
Is in the contract.
and
You can't drive the boat without me. So yeah.
So you're gonna be there for the first ride.
Absolutely.
So you started as a maker of luxury automotive parts. We're now sitting in your manufacturing facility where you now manufacture custom yachts that are shipped all over the world.
Yes, sir.
How does a business like this start here in Kosovo?
First of all, I have 20 years of experience in composite material. I started when I was 70 years old in Italy. I lived with all my family in Italy 23 years. So I went when I was really, really young, 3 years. I finalized all my school career, including the University of Politecnico di Torino in Italy. And then during the university, I started to as an entrepreneur, one-man brand,
Yep.
to create my own company, starting producing small components, carbon fiber components for supercars in Italy. Then when I see that he start to have more and more requests, after 2-3 years, I decided to come alone in Kosovo when I was born. And for 2 years alone, I start to have the first employees, and the big Kickstarter that, let's say, that
Yep.
I take when I asked to my parents to support me, leave Italy completely and come and help me. That was my biggest, let's say, adventure and kick.
That was the milestone where you where you had something you could continue to build.
Exactly, and then my success started to go in as a exponential way.
Yep.
You understand? So now, as I said, 20 years of experience in this industry. We are really known in the automotive industry. But in the last 4 years, I started a new company, new startup that is Koshi Marine. And this, again, starts from the passion that I have for fishing in the sea and boat and sailing. The experience the knowledge that I learned during all this process for the automotive industry helped me to start in a very good way and very, very hardly for the marine. 4 years looks like enough, but for this industry, you have no idea how many skills and knowledge you need to arrive to have to project something from zero,
Right.
such a big size, and to arrive to key in hand to the clients. It's
Right.
like to create a supercar from nothing, from zero.
Right.
So starting from small components, aerodynamic components for cars,
Yep.
we arrive to create the entire vehicle, in this case, a boat.
It's unbelievable when you look around the facility and you see what you're building here, both on the automotive side and, especially here, looking at the yachts. All this was essentially born from your passion for both supercars and yachts.
Right.
And so tell me about, we were talking about this off camera. You had to, when you started this new startup, right, when you started the marine division, you had never done this before. You had never built a yacht before. You had to convince customers in America or other countries to buy a yacht from you. You hadn't done it. There was no prototype. There was no model that they could look at. And you had to convince them to say, trust me, I'm the person to build this yacht for you. How did you do that? How do you go from, hey, I have this idea, to you're going to pay me several $1 million for this, these yachts that are all around us?
Obviously, you need to have also a past, a credible past, a trustable past.
Sure.
Is not a company that started 4 years ago from nothing. I have a really good good feedback, and if you check very quickly Koshi Group, there is tons and tons of material in the past. So
Right.
the clients that trust this new project without existing, based his courage to invest through Koshi Group.
Yep.
For the automotive industry, and obviously when we proposed to him, the project was so deep in details and facts and professional that someone that by this search this kind of product really understand that he's lucky that he find me in that moment, because
Right.
after can be very late.
Right.
This kind of product, you give it after years.
Right.
There is people that wait 5-6 years for his boat.
Yep.
So that, and also the price, because this boat deserve a higher price than obviously I offer
Sure.
to him. But for the moment we are talking about 2.5 million euro boat. So yeah, and obviously before this boat, we already did this 4 years, 3 other smaller boats that are all catamaran, dedicated for the offshore fishing.
Yep.
Exactly American style with
Yep.
a symmetrical hull, and we have many here in Europe in the water.
Yep.
That we use also for the sea trial, for the client, and so on. So this is the biggest model for the moment.
Yeah.
We are already discussing for a 80-foot
Yep.
boat. So
And that was, how big is that? 50?
51.
51.
51. Yeah. So now 80.
Yep.
And probably there is not the limit. It's not the last project.
And that boat has already broken records, right? For speed
Absolutely,
records.
yes.
Yeah.
We can compare this boat as a size with a Segaret 1 Tirana. That with a 6-engine 500R engine Mercury Racing achieve 80-85 miles per hour, and we achieve with a 4-engine 95-100. For the moment, and there is enough space to go higher and higher with the speed. It's just question of setup and
Right.
so it's just happened. This was tested 2 weeks ago from the client. He have no time to wait. He want to bring the boat in US and go ahead with with the testing. So again, I feel myself that I arrived to my goal when this boat will do 120 miles per hour.
120.
Yes. So yeah, close, but yeah.
You still have a little room to go.
You know, my limit or my goal is not to be faster than the other. I don't care what the other do.
Right.
Is a goal that I give to myself. And for the moment, we already be the fastest center console with this size worldwide. But for me, it's not enough.
Yep.
As achieving. Yeah.
Yep. So we're in, for people who don't know the geography of Kosovo, there is no water around it on any side of Kosovo.
That's
Albania is not too far, but you are building these boats in a landlocked country. What is it about Kosovo? And you said you moved to Italy to do this. What is it about Kosovo in terms of both the automotive side and the marine side? What are the advantages of building businesses like this here?
I was really young, 22,
Right.
23 years entrepreneur, with not so much experience to decide is a healthy decision to
Right.
come alone and so on. But I'm really happy that it happened this way, because you know, when you think and think and think, at the end you don't do that, because you are there is this risk and this risk.
Yeah.
I'm happy that it went in this way. So I don't think so deeply. But at the end, I was lucky because I arrived in a place where during this last 10 years, Europe is not so shining, let's say, as
Right.
economy, and Kosovo is growing up in a really hard way.
Yeah.
Also, the first, I admit the taxes.
Yeah.
Taxes Kosovo probably is one of the best worldwide.
Right. Very
They-
favorable tax.
Yes, because people think why you don't do you don't go in China or so on.
Right.
First of all, it's not my interest. First of all, is my land.
Sure.
Kosovo. But the other thing is you are really close to Europe.
Yeah.
You are really close to the market.
Yep.
And this is a very big point
Yep.
that make us succeed and make a German decide to buy from Kosovo and not from the German company.
Right.
So for many reasons. So taxes is one of the most important reason to invest in Kosovo. We are talking about a fixed percentage of 10% of interest
Yep.
in income that there is no other place
Yep.
close to us.
10%.
10% fixed.
Income tax, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make 10 euro, 100,000 billion, 10%.
Yep.
So really, who wants to produce something need a manufacturing process, or some, now with technology there is a lot of remote job that call centers, IT, and so on, and there is a lot of company from outside that probably don't make so much rumor, but there is a lot of company outside that invest in Kosovo and open companies here. So again, also the percentage of the young people compared to Europe is so high.
Yeah.
Is so high. There is a lot of new talent, opportunities, people. Another thing, through my partners that probably they produce also other stuff, they have a lot of problems with employees to make some precise job that normally are manual. Kosovo, Albanian, Balkans are still love this kind of job.
Yeah.
And I see that in Europe, US, whatever, they really filter what kind of job to do.
Yeah.
They don't want to
work with their hands, like
yes, to dirty their
manufacturing.
hands, everything from office. So this is a good thing for us because less people are prepared to do that kind, and more is valuable your manufacturing.
Right.
Because less people do that,
Right.
less concurrence.
Yep. So there's less competition for the talent, and the talent is more willing to come in and actually
really
do
happen.
that. Yeah.
It's really happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are there particular challenges? I mean, outside of you're building something. You're building. There's no yacht industry, right? Here in Kosovo. So but even beyond the industry, what are there unique challenges also that you have to overcome here?
One thing is very difficult to find professional and prepared people for many different jobs. Probably in the restoration and so on, hotellery is very easy. You can, but when you start with the production, we comes from a war. 25 years ago was a war, so also the culture to have a production, massive companies that produce already don't exist from before the war. So people are not used to work with that frequency that a company that produce. You can't find a prepared person.
Yeah.
You need to invest on it. Sometimes they are not. They have no a clear idea what they want to do with this life. Go in Europe for luck or stay here. So the reality is that we invest a lot of our time, money, to invest in people and change continuously. But today we are a reality of 100%. Everyone is as an artist, as a perfectionist. It takes time and energy, but it deserves to do that. It deserves. So if someone think, I come here and I find 100 employees ready to do my job, no, this is not reality. But you need to invest on it.
You've got to invest, you've got to train, you've got to really develop the talent. But it's here. The people are here and they're willing.
Right, exactly.
And that's, we've heard this when we've talked to a number of other people who have built really successful companies here, that advantage of the youth, just how young the age of how young the average age of the population is. Has that been a big advantage for you as well?
Absolutely, yes, because again, I connect with my experience. I much prefer that a person comes that he don't know to do nothing
Right.
than someone that comes pretending to be a professionist. He is not prepared, ready to heard, understand, and change his way to work.
Yep.
And a person that have so much how to say voluntary.
Experience?
No, you don't know to do something, but you want.
Ambition. And like,
yes, bravo, ambition.
desire. Yep.
And but have no portfolio or no experience is much better because you train it as you want.
That's right.
So I like it. So young people means less experience. That's a good thing.
Yep.
I invest on you, and I want to do you as the company needs.
Yep. And then you can actually mold that person into the type
Bravo.
of of worker that you really need to build the
Exactly.
country. What do you? I come back here in 5 years, right? And we're sitting down together. What does Koshi Industries look like at that point? Where do you take this?
As I
long-term?
see in the last week, what is happening that is really uncontrollable. A lot of opportunities, bigger than I thought.
Yep.
So really, I can't say something pretty sure, but new challenging bigger than this.
Yep.
Obviously, one thing that we need to stabilize is a production line.
Yep.
Because for the moment we are in a prototype phase.
Yeah.
You understand? 4 models, a few boats that are in the water, but we need to arrive in a moment where we have probably a waiting list of for 4 years.
Yeah.
For 10 boats a year, and to see this production line work.
Yep.
So this is. Lagging in the floor. I want to
That's
stay.
right.
Yes, I don't want to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
want to control the pace. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And something else very important. I was forgetting. During this process, why is so particular and unique this boat or the boat line? During the process, during the first boat, I arrived to change the way how to produce, how to create the boat. I create a new way how to produce the boat, or massive product in composite material, and I arrived to patent in US. It takes 2 years to patent this process, this technology, and now my goal is. Through this boat as a demo to demonstrate that this is the best of in the market, to give the possibility to other companies use this technology, so to share and see also other company growing and making even better their product.
Yep.
Because the difference from this to their competitors is not a very thin line.
Right.
It's a huge, massive difference with the first boat.
Yeah.
Think about after with others.
So there's already a huge difference between
Yeah.
you and between that boat and other boats
Absolutely,
out
yes.
there.
Yeah.
That gap can get
In terms
wider
of
and wider.
performance, efficiency, autonomy, and so on, comfort. Because this tractor is very comfortable in every condition, every weather, every rough sea.
Yep.
You can have also people that don't know how to swim. They are afraid of the water.
Right.
They feel really comfortable in a boat like that.
Yeah.
And normally in a normal boat, crackers, rumors, vibration,
Right.
and so make you feel not so good.
That's
Here is, you need to test. You need to feel it to understand what I say.
Yeah. So you're obviously, the opportunity that you have here in your business today is extraordinary. What do you tell people when they ask you about the long-term future of Kosovo as a country and a place to build? What in your view, what does that future look like for the country?
Really to be in a position that there is a lot of things that need to be created or to fix it is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you can take as a sample other state that probably make a wrong decision, good decision,
Yep.
and obviously you copy who is succeeding.
That's right.
Really is a good thing because the other need to create that. You need only to copy. It
Right.
is happening, really is happening. A lot of the business is just based on what is happening, the trends out of Kosovo in Europe, and they succeed for sure.
Yeah.
But if people think that I come in Kosovo, I make a lot of money as fast as possible, and I don't want, I have no effort to dedicate to
Right.
people, it doesn't exist. Not here, in any part of the world. So dedication, but is a place with a lot of opportunity. You have an idea.
Yeah.
You have an idea.
Yep. Well, I think that, you know, in any new place, right? We talked about the age of the, we talked about the age of the population, but the age of the country is the country itself is so young.
Yes, right.
Right. And that just creates the need for a lot of things. And I love, we've heard this from other people before too, where Kosovo has this opportunity to define itself based on what has worked in other countries and pick the parts that have worked and avoid the messes, right?
Right.
And I think that is what makes this such a really unique opportunity on a global level that I don't know where else you find that.
No, that's true. When I said you are close to Europe, that was said from many years ago from a client, and really I'm here. I never thought in that way. Really, we are a very good solution for companies that normally is supplying from China. It's just a question of a better price, cheaper, but start to be a problem of the transport, timing, and so on.
Yeah.
There is a lot of situation out of my company that I heard that they are prepared to pay higher just because it's very close to be controlled, and also for the transport this is quicker.
Right.
Now, today, everything is very dynamic, very fast. It's much better quick and expensive than cheaper, and I don't know when it comes, really.
Right.
Many times. So I don't want to say Kosovo is the China, because I hate the comparison.
Yeah, no, right.
But Kosovo is an opportunity as China very close to Europe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very big plus for us compared to very far countries around us.
Yep. All right, so just last question, and this is purely out of curiosity. How do you get that boat from this manufacturing plant in Kosovo with no water around us to Miami? How does that process work?
It looks difficult, but really it's not so.
It's easy.
Just pay. It just is expensive.
You just pay.
Question is, during the process there is a protocol to follow.
Yeah.
Every boat need to be tested from the potential client or future client. This boat already went in the sea in Durrës, in Albania. That is the closest to us, and it's a very expensive investment because you need to block all the highway, oversized transport, and so on. But it's the only one way, and the client is ready to pay it.
Yeah.
And another very important thing is that we have a Greece. That is the very close place where all the boats are shipped worldwide. So you send in Greece in a day, in one day, and then it can be shipped to every part of the world. In this case, it will be in Miami after 1.5 months because it takes time.
Yep.
And let's see. Rock and roll. You see in some very good viral video on YouTube. I really loved the idea to see. It's one of my dream as a child dream.
Yep.
To see my boat without paying someone to film it, but just passing through the inlet all over of Miami, where all the super yacht and most famous brand pass there, and I will see a product made in Kosovo.
So are you gonna go to Miami when this arrives and go?
Yes, it's in the contract. And you can't drive the boat without me. So yeah.
So you're gonna be there for the first ride.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It will happen in November. So.
Unbelievable. It's right around the time that this is gonna air. That's unbelievable. Congratulations. This is really amazing what you've built here.
And probably this is nothing what we'll have.
We'll come back and we'll do it again. So we can see maybe we'll come down and catch a ride. That's right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. This is great.
Bye to all.